Hey, what's going on, guys? Gunners is 4 here. Today I am doing something a little bit different. Today there's no budget decks. Today is a full deck on gold paladins. Now I know what a lot of you are thinking because the guy I'm working with, Peter, he's doing a lot of gold paladin, and now you guys are most probably wondering why I hopped along as well. Well, actually, I never actually got this deck. I got this deck a long time ago. It's quite old actually, but with a few new cards from the new Vanguard G, it's definitely much better than ever. And also with the new 16 strides. So for a lot of you who saw this card and are wondering, oh, it's liberators, how am I gonna play with this? Don't worry, the strategy is still the same, although a little bit different in my case. I'm not using bluish flame. As you guys can probably guess, for those of you who do know this card, it's giving you quite a big hint that we focus on Blaster Blade Liberator here, which he is one of my favorite cards, so it makes sense to build a whole deck on him. Also, this is the first out of second Gold Paladin deck reviews. I have built a second one for those of you who prefer to use non-liberators, but that deck's still building process, so you guys will have to wait a while, but don't worry, that deck's definitely coming around. Already got the strides, just need to get a few more of the great 3s, 2s, and 1s. So, starting off a little bit differently, starting off with the starter, Aram. So, skill, move him to the soul. Put a Blaster Blade Liberator on top of the deck. So this is good, especially for the units that are coming ahead. They'll be able to purposely superior call Blaster Blade, which will bring up a lot of benefits as you see here. And maybe this deck will need definitely more than just one battle and one explanatory video to explain itself. I think this deck is extremely complex and unique due to the fact that it's not budget. Yes, dear friends, this is my first non-budget deck, although the other Gold Paladin is a budget deck. So, you know, something definitely I've not done. This may be my very first deck and very last deck that I'll have that's non-budget, but who knows, maybe if I can get my hands on more, might as well, right? So that's Aram. Next off are my critical triggers. Forgive me, yeah? So, 12 of them, right here. If you really die want to know what type they are, we have this type, we have this type, and Epona. I mean, who can't forget Epona? So, no skills at all, no skills provided. We use them because they're Liberator based criticals. So, good for our unit to require a special counterblast. So, for those of you who've just seen our grade zeros, you guys will probably get an idea on what our grade, of what the further grades are. So heal triggers, we're just using, regular heal triggers. It's more important now with the new G guard. Anyway, heal triggers was very important. Don't tell me you can't use them. Just regular heals. Of course, they should be Liberator based. So this is my first sub-clan deck as well. Not really ran a full sub-clan. Of course, great ones. As I mentioned earlier, it's a Blaster Blade Liberator deck. Therefore, we will run 4 White Rainbow Liberator Balance. For those of you who are aware of Blasted Out Revenger's buddy, the guy who can flip over one unit in the damage zone, they actually gave Blaster Blade one as well in BT15, like Bakal friend, those style units they can flip over. They actually gave him one, although it's not very commonly known due to the fact that it was never shown in anime or any deck reviews. But I decided to add him in because I thought it's really unique, especially due to the fact that our deck needs counterblast. Continuing on, this is maybe a shocker to some of you. I'm running 2 Afterglow Liberator Benelius. This guy, Generation Break 1, choose 2 your rear guards and give it 2k. This unit needs to be called from the deck. So, especially due to the fact that this deck does massive superior callings, this can be unique and raise power levels of those units who can't do it themselves. It's really fun. In case you guys I want to apologize, my voice is a bit hoarse. Don't really know why, I'm trying to drink water, but never mind. This is a basic all Liberator decks need to have. This is May Rain Liberator Bruno. He gains 3k whenever another Liberator unit is called from the deck. Extremely crucial card, and it's a common. So for those of you who tell me this is hard to get, I'll tell you no, it's easy. It's not that difficult, although it's hard rare. For Sentinels, we run 3 Halo Liberator marks. I don't think I need to elaborate myself here. But the last one is a Quintet Wall. Quintet rolls, although quite outdated, some run it for Legion, some run it to activate Unite. Yeah, in case you didn't know, Peter, he did a deck involving his quintets. So I don't know whether he's done a video on that, but he does have a deck which involves Unite and quintets, which allow him to activate Unite on the defensive turn. So his deck is a more defensive Unite deck. The deck I'm building is offensive deck. So if you guys want to see those two decks battle it out, let us know. I'll be more than happy to. There's only one last great one, and that's this guy. Sorry. Flaming Stallion. He will be boosting. I think this is obvious who is he boosting. This guy right here. So yes, he will be in this deck, so don't worry. Yeah. His deck review will be quite long, therefore I'm afraid that I may not be able to touch on certain things. So this deck will be explaining the cards, and I will make a second video explaining the logic behind it, which I think is quite necessary, because if I did all together, this may be a 20-minute video. Some of you may fall asleep. Our grade 2s, we run I can't remember this is Cheer Up Trumpeter, I believe. He cycles the Blaster Blade Liberator back to the deck in exchange for Spirit Calling something else. Now this is extremely unique, because Blaster Blade Liberator is our main focus. We need as many Blaster Blades in the deck as possible. That's why we run him. Speaking of Blaster Blade, he's right here. We will run 4 Blaster Blades. Like I said, we need a maximum number of Blaster Blade Liberators possible, so we will run 4. That's the maximum anyway. Skill, Count Blast 2. When it enters Vanguard or Rearguard, choose your opponent's Rearguards to retire, one of them, if your Vanguard's a Liberator. So if he's on Vanguard, this is without exception. If he's on Rearguard, then you need to make sure that your Vanguard is Liberator, but the whole deck is Liberator. Should not be a worry. Our last grade 2 is something I decided to run because this is quite good for power. Fallon. He gains 3k if your Vanguard's Liberator and he's attacking, but the whole deck is Liberator, so it should not be a problem. In this day and age, it's harder to find units that 12k or 11k base, simply because now a lot of people run the 10k base, which is not their fault, I don't blame them. So finding style units are hard to get. These units can also go up to units like Majesty Lord without any support, and as you all probably know, Majesty Lord's now rocking the meta, so important. Just now I mentioned Flaming Stallion. Now I show you. We are running 4 Liberator the Round Table Alfreds. First skill is continuously gaining 2k for every Liberator on the rear guard. As this whole deck's built Liberator, having your 5 rear guards will give him 10,000 already. His second skill is Count Blast 2, especially Count Blast Liberator. Spirit Call top card. The last one is Lord. So I chose this card because it's the 4 copies. It's the most in the deck. I like this basically because even though you may not be able to get the other 2 grade 3s, this deck is good for basic power attacks. If just by having 5 rear guards yourself, he is already at 21,000. He also can supply you with rear guards, although a little bit expensive of a cost. The other grade 3 I'm running, there's one more, don't worry. Ganslot Zenith. This is the cross ride for the original Ganslot, but I'm not running him because break rides are a little bit too time costly, so I want to get to the point and finish them off as possible. I even have an SP here, so definitely no budgets here. Counterblast 1, Liberator, special Counterblast. Counterblast 1, choose one of your Liberator rearguards, send it to bomb the deck. Spirit Call the top card. I believe if it's a gold paladin, you give it 10,000. So this is very good for having more attacks. At the same time, you may combine him with around here to Spirit Call Blaster Blade Liberator for those of you who are very, anime style. Other than that, this card can grant you extra attack if you pull off a card like Fallon. It's really good. But anyways, if you have problems summoning a good card, remember it gives you 10,000. So no matter what, you have an attack covered. Last but not least, if you talk about Blaster Blade Liberator, you need to have this guy. Liberator Monarch Century Alfred. The reason why I'm running 2 and not 4 like those people who are very YOLO is strictly because I don't want to be overpowered. Even though this is a non-budget, we must still remember that they're still quite costly. Liberate Break 5, gaining 10k 1 crit when Blaster Blade Liberator is called to the rear guard. And this requires no cost at all. You just need to magically get him. Fortunately, thanks to units like Aram and Starin, you will be able to do this very effectively. Also, if you can't do this very effectively, you do have Alfred's second skill to help you, and that's to Counter Blast 3, Soul Blast 2. Send all your regards to the top of the deck, lock to the bottom, and call the top 5. Now, I know a lot of you are thinking, why would I still use this ability? Well, remember that Chaos Breaker was in the meta not too long ago. I think he just got kicked out. But the fact that Bushiroad is still willing to add units like Starvaders into the meta does show a lot. And that there is a very high possibility of adding a very lock-based Link Joker back. So, just being prepared here, not being claustrophobic or anything, we're going to play him. His last skill is also unique, gaining 1k for every rear guard. So it's a minimum 16k if you have 5 rear guards. So it's not as good as the original Alfred, but this is definitely granted. Our strides. Now, thanks to the 16 card stride new expansion, we are now able to run more strides. Some of these strides that you see in this video will also be used for the other deck that I mentioned. It's simply because they're all Gold Paladin. This is a basic requirement for all Gold Paladin Liberators. Bluish Flame, True Liberator, Holy Flame. A lot of you have the misconception that Holy Flame is strictly meant for Bluish Flame. However, just a simple check on card 5 wiki will prove to you it's not. It's a GR, it's got that really nice ability, box. I really like that. Counter Blast 1, choose any unit, flip it over in the G zone. For as many Holy Flames you have, you Spirit Call 1 card from the top 3 and give it 2k. The rest go to the drop zone, I believe. Not very sure. I used to tell people it's the bottom deck, but not really important here. The point is you do get Spirit Call. So on your first strike, you get 1 Spirit Call. Second turn, you get 3 Spirit Call. So that's a major increase in number. Cards like Aram can get back Blaster Blade. I'll keep on mentioning Aram over and over again to rub in your face that Blaster Blade can be revived. He's not dead. He's never come back in the meta. People actually watch this and make their own improvements. He can't come back to the meta. It's a very high chance. I know a lot of people, they believe that only Blaster Blade can because they receive supports. I say that the Liberators are receiving silent supports, although not as obvious. You don't need to, do the research yourself. As I mentioned before, some strides are going to be used again, but I said use it here since it's 16 cards requirement. This is Golden Dragon, Rebirth Dragon from the start deck. Running 4 there. Forgive me. So, his skill, Unite. This is the new Unite ability that a lot of people are getting very hyped about. I'm not a big fan of Unite myself, but when utilized correctly, I believe Unite can be very deadly. My only concern is some people may overuse Unite, Spirit Call 5 units for 1 turn, next turn 5 themselves with an entire cluttered field. So that's my only concern with Unite. We'll do a video on that as well, discussing on the pros and cons of Unite. This unit will gain 5k and the front row will gain 2k whenever you Unite. So it's a really basic power increaser. If you do manage to, as this card can't really Spirit Call itself, with its own abilities, you can use the skills of, say, units like, Starin, maybe even, I don't know, you can go sell it yourself. I know there are many units in here that do require Spirit Calls. And with the fact that Blaster Blade can be cycled in and out, it's very, very possible that Blaster Blade can cause you to Spirit Call 2 units just by 1 Starin effect. Also, Unite can be used from the hand, so there's no need to get so hyper that it must be, from the deck. No, it can be from your hand as well. So that makes it a lot easier. Just for fun, we are running 2 Golden Dragons. Scourge Point is another one of them. His skill, when a unit is placed on the rear guard from deck, I think, that unit himself gain 5k. So if you're just doing just 1 Superior Call, he already gains 5,000. And with the power of Starin and Aram and the other units that can Superior Call, I am expecting quite a big power boost with this guy. You can definitely raise 25,000 power. It's not impossible. Guys, just have to sell it yourself. 16 units in the G zone are quite a lot, but I decided it's actually quite useful. If by some weird reason you have run out of Ray Breath, Scourge Points, and Holy Flames, we can run Cray Elementals. Do I need to explain this? No, I don't. This is Cray Elemental. Our G guard, I only brought 1. I'm actually planning on getting 2 more. Sacred Heaven Prayer Master Rear. The skill, gain 5k if you have 2 more rear guards. Now come on, this is Gold Paladin. You're bound to have more than 2 or more rear guards. This is not possible, definitely. But the thing that that a lot of you may be concerned about is why aren't I running Slimy Flare? Slimy Flare can spur call 2 different units to the Guardian Circle as different grades. So I'm going to explain why. It's strictly because Slimy Flare is first of all hard to get. Duh. Second of all, Slimy Flare, it forces you to send one of your own units back to the deck, and the whole purpose of this deck is to gain a good formation. So by playing Slimy Flare, you may just destroy what you just took 5 turns to create, which I'm not a big fan of. So not running Slimy Flare. Of course, maybe when some new G-Guard comes out, I may run it. But for the time being, I will run this only. Sorry to disappoint you guys. So that's about it for my Blaster Blade Liberator deck review. This is only the review deck because going through in depth every card will probably take another 3 hours. So I will just leave it here for today. I will create an explanatory video on the reasons why I run certain cards, although it's already been briefly mentioned here. So thank you guys for watching. Please leave a like if you enjoyed. Subscribe is definitely better. You guys can look forward to the Gold Paladin deck. This is the deck box, and a battle between me and Peter. He's usually I upload it on my channel, but there's been a bit of a technical issue, so it's gonna be on his channel instead. Just waiting for him. So whenever he's got it, I will post a video on my channel announcing it's there. You guys can go watch it yourself and enjoy me destroying him. Shouldn't spoil it. So never mind, guys. So hope you guys enjoyed this video, and see you guys next time.